Yes. Alright, time to cut the cute, stupid YouTube bullshit and get down to business. This is a good question that's been going around in the FNAF community over the last couple years, since the most recent Dorco interview with series creator Scott Cawthon. In it, Dorco, the crown jewel of the UK, asked Scott if he was happy with the release of Security Breach, which released like this.
You still there? Oh, there you are. Oh, I see. A little strange. There you go, you did it! And I'm gonna shove a beak inside of you, and you are going to be able to talk better. What? Whoa!
He said that he, of course, wasn't very happy with it, and immediately directed focus to doing right by the fans, fixing bugs and developing a free DLC that follows after the story. But there's some pretty strange pieces of lore buried in Security Breach that developed into some of the least popular theories ever circulated. These theories include Gregbot, that the character we play as in Security Breach is secretly a robot that broke free of his programming, that the owner of the Pizzaplex and Fazbear Entertainment is William Afton's wife who we never saw, and that William Afton is still around, and is lying burnt and disheveled under the Pizzaplex, now known as Burn Trap. These theories were largely circulated by Game Theory, but that's neither here nor there. That final theory is the main thing people cite when they claim that parts of Security Breach have been or will be retconned. In the same interview, Scott told us of his original intention when telling Steelwolf Studios to add the burnt Springtrap suit. He was going to be just that, a corpse that didn't move and was obscured behind failing metalworks, mainly to confirm that the secret Fazbear location below the Pizzaplex is the one we owned in FNAF 6. This is a far cry from what we got. A fucking boss fight where he can remotely hack the animatronics by touching a TV screen and sends them at you, while you also defend against a massive blob of animatronic parts that sends its tentacles after you. Scott explains this difference between his intentions and what we got by revealing that instead of telling Steelwolf the lore, he told them what specifically to add to the game and where to put it with no further context. At which point, Steelwolf thought their job was to string all the evidence together into a coherent story, which led to them making William still around and conscious. This also explains many more odd and nonsensical decisions made in Security Breach, like them putting toys from the FNAF 4 kids' room in glass displays, and also a display of the Afton family, made from staff bots. For years, people have discussed why these existed in the Pizzaplex, and if much of it can even be considered canon anymore, but last year we got our answer. In Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, we flash back to 1979, earlier than any point we ever played before. The titular character of the Mimic first appeared in the DLC for Security Breach, Ruin, which takes place sometime at the end of the series, likely in the 2030s. This means that the Mimic has been around both before and after everything we see in the series, watching. The Mimic is an endoskeleton, developed by the inventor Edwin Murray, which is able to watch and learn about people and mimic their voices, mannerisms, and movements. It was developed after his son David Murray died, to try and bring him back and repair his family. But he ultimately changed his mind and tried to destroy the Mimic, at which point it began to imitate the violence and kill people. The Mimic endoskeleton is the second iteration of this technology though, and we see and speak to the first in Secret of the Mimic, and also see it underground in Ruin. This Mimic is known as Fiona, or F10N4, because it mimicked Edwin Murray's dead wife, Fiona Murray, and believes itself to be her. It has a bunch of large dark wires running out of it and around the Pizzaplex, particularly to rooms that feature Easter eggs and products of Fazbear's past. These include a replica of Michael Afton's living room from Sister Location and recreations of minigames and the DLC from Help Wanted. These small details give us the implication that F10N4 has some kind of influence over the Pizzaplex through her wires, and gives us examples of her using this influence to recreate different parts of the history of Fazbear Entertainment. We can see this all over the Pizzaplex, including a rough recreation of one of the most well-known events in FNAF, the death of William Afton. William is very commonly represented through the use of a rabbit or a bunny. This can be seen in many places, such as the Fruity Maze minigame in FNAF 6 and the Princess Quest minigame in Help Wanted 2. He also famously kills children while dressed in a Springlock bunny costume and dies in the suit, becoming Springtrap. We see an almost one-to-one recreation of his death in the Ruin DLC, with Glamrock Bonnie lying on the ground, surrounded by the floor sign robots, which look very similar to how ghosts are shown in the cutscene. I believe that F10N4 is trying to build her family back by creating echoes of the past, and has been influencing many corners of the FNAF canon over the years, since she's been sitting on the same plot of land as Murray's Costume Manor, the FNAF 4 house, the sister location bunker, the FNAF 6 pizzeria, and now the Pizzaplex. All she seemed to want in Secret of the Mimic was for Edwin to finish building the Mimic Mark II so she can have her son David back. So what does F10N4's control over the Pizzaplex combined with all these strange echoes of the past tell us? It tells us that, to answer the question at hand, Security Breach and Ruin are both canon, and have had their weird details that seem to break the timeline explained. This actually makes more sense in hindsight than what people thought after the interview. If Scott was telling Steelwolf to add all these details with little to no context, why would they suddenly be retconned away?